We're back. Osamu Fujita trails Nicolai Herzog 2-0. One more match will give Nico the Pro Tour title and $30,000, and give Fujita his 7th piece of silver. The silver collector has a lot of very high-profile second-place finishes. Definitely in danger of adding another one.
Yeah, you're very good at that.
Somehow I don't feel tremendously sorry for him.
No, it's hard to feel sorry for him.
That's sport habit.
So let's take a look real quick at how we got here. Semifinals, Olivier Rouel, one of the two French players in this matchup, won his quarterfinal match, but he got slaughtered by Nicolai Herzog in the semifinals. 3-0. Nico got the sweep there. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, Anton Janssen was a lot of people's pick to win this event. He's been spending 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day playing Magic Online. Has drafted the format more times than anyone else on the planet, but he ran into Osamu Fujita, and they played a tough 5-game matchup. And Fujita just got the explosive affinity draws he needed to run through Janssen. Janssen died with Molder Slug and Pentevis in his hand 2 different times.
Megatog, I'm
sorry. Megatog and Pentevis in his hand 2 different times. Fujita 3-2 through to the finals. So that's how we got here. Norway versus Japan. Japan trying to finally win its first Pro Tour. I don't know if they're going to get it this weekend, but they're going to get it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Japanese players have truly shown themselves to be on top of the game with their recent finishes. I mean, there were 2 Japanese players in the last constructed Pro Tour.
Yep.
I mean, in the top 8. There were two prior to that in the last individual limited Pro Tour.
It used to be a big deal to have one of them in the top 8. Now it's just expected. They've got actually a streak of 5 going, I believe. Nico Herzog, 2 Rochester draft top 8s in a row, trying to improve on a second-place finish in Chicago.
Looks like he's got a decent shot here. Up 2-0.
Yeah.
Probably a significant favorite in the matchup overall, and he can't be unhappy about his chances. He may be back on his cell phone soon enough.
Fujita draws his hand. Studies it.
Not the happiest expression.
Not the happiest look. Got to feel bad. He's down 0-2. He must feel fated to finish second place anyway.
Yeah, just imagine like the psychology of that.
No, at what point do they start calling you the silver collector?
Seriously.
4 GP second places, an APAC championship, and a Japanese nationals. Like after the 3rd one, it's got to be annoying. I mean, Ben Rubin had a streak of seconds for a while. It was only like 2 or 3 of them.
He had 2 in one season. And then
a Masters, and it.
He never had second in a Masters. He just won them.
Oh, okay.
That's
when he broke through, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
But that was when he stopped winning the Pro Tour.
Benefeld had a streak of a couple seconds.
Benefeld had a lot, yeah.
But it was still only like 3.
Yeah, it
wasn't 6 or bordering on 7.
Fujita certainly has got to have the highest.
Yeah, it's such a bittersweet feeling. Second place.
The Chosen.
There's Telgelat's Chosen. Osamu Fujita has a couple lands at a Spellbomb. Herzog, Telgelat's Chosen.
Fujita might be thinking he's just tearing it right now. Just
maybe.
Get rid of it.
Herzog's flashing it. Can I have this? You got something? What's going on?
Is my man down? I mean, at the same time, he's got to be thinking, God, if he has Molder Slug, I'm dead. Oh, no.
He's just throwing the scale out. Well, he's got the
all right.
Not going to save it for surprise value. Just needs to get another artifact on the table.
I mean, the affinity power of that's pretty important.
Good look at Dave Humphreys, looking on from the crowd. Hump had a pretty good tournament. He's sort of the only YMG player who made much progress into the field. Sort of hanging out on the fringes of contention for most of day 2. Pretty sure
he finished in the top 32. He finished 28 overall. I mean, the Yormouth Games presence at the Pro Tour has seemed to have diminished fairly significantly recently. Rob Doherty's no longer qualified. Justin Gary taking the game much less seriously these days in law school. Zvimash didn't even show.
Yep, got another job with another game company. Priorities seem to be changing. A couple other YMG Tier 2 guys disappeared to another game company. It's interesting. That team does seem to have fallen on hard times, maybe.
Absolutely. There's that Nurok familiar threatening to block. Does Nicolai have the Battle Growth or the Predator Strike? Did he get anything off that familiar? He missed.
Flipped over Regress. card that came in from the sideboard. I mean, it used to be that the Americans had some of the best drafters in the world, thought of themselves as some of the best players in the world, but it's actually been quite a while since the Americans put somebody through to the finals of a limited Pro Tour.
The last American in the finals of a limited Pro Tour was Alan Comer.
Barcelona.
In approximately 1933.
Before that was the one that Pastilnik won. L.A., what, 1917?
Yeah. I mean, that was back right before World War I think.
It's been quite a while. The Americans have not had a good run in individual limited. Now, to be fair, an American team did win the Team Pro Tour this year. But only one American in this top 8. And that's despite Americans making up a very large chunk of the field.
Well, there's actually only 2 Americans in the top 16. The next highest finisher to my train was teammate Eugene Harvey in 12th place. You have to go down to 19th to find another American. There are actually 2 Belgians in the top 16. There are as many Belgians as there are Americans.
Goblin replica for Herzog. Nothing wrong with Belgium.
There's nothing wrong with Belgium.
Many of them.
I'm just saying. I mean, there are certainly fewer Belgians playing in the Pro Tour than Americans, and Belgium certainly not considered one of the magic powerhouse countries as far as most people are concerned. But I got nothing against Belgium. They got really good waffles.
Fujita plays a Silvermere, so his board is Silvermere, Nurok Familiar, Scale of Chiscoria, and he's still got that Ether Spellbomb.
That Scale really screws up my Shaman plan.
It's true. Goblin Replica heads into the red zone, but the Chosen does not, interestingly. Nico doesn't want to risk a fight between it and the Familiar, I guess.
That's interesting. Does Nico have a 4th land?
2016.
Seems like you trade there, right? Now he has Journey of Discovery. He's still getting to it.
Aha.
There's no trade that Fujita could make, anyway.
He could double block, and
lose both guys?
And you scale.
Oh, scale to save one of them?
I mean, he certainly doesn't want to lose to a
Familiar. He could have traded his Familiar for the replica. That's fair.
I mean, or his mirror for the replica. I mean, I guess it would be Familiar.
Herzog will choose to kill the Familiar. Yeah, I don't think Herzog's going to go 1-1 and just...
Yeah. Which one do you want?
And there's the Nimstreaker. Yeah, there was a bit of confusion about this in Game 1. Fujita played a Nimstreaker, and Herzog was like, I saw your deck list. You didn't have one of those. What's going on? It turns out Fujita actually misregistered his deck. He registered the Nimstreaker as a Nim Shambler. He just sort of missed by one line on the deck reg sheet. So he actually picked up an official warning for misregistering a deck list there. Not only a warning, though. There was a judge that double-checked. Everyone knew he really did have the Streaker, and the judge was supposed to double-check his deck list anyway at the time. So they got it all straightened out. It is indeed a Nimstreaker. Fujita now has a warning on his record. He'll be a little more careful next time, I'm sure.
And we'll watch him like a hawk.
All right, now the Chosen and the Replica come over. Fujita asks how many cards. He's wondering if there's a Battle Growth or a Predator Strike. Nico has 7 cards in his hand, so...
Quite a few cards.
But what is Osamu supposed to do? Just keep taking it? It's just like, take 4? He has to try blocking, right?
Yeah, the fact that the Chosen is protected from artifacts is really significant here, because not only can he not block with artifact creatures, he also can't use the Aether Spellbomb on it. So if Nico does have a trick,
right,
the trick will save the Chosen, unless it's involved in some sort of double blocking situation.
All right, Fujita debates and does indeed shove Nurok Familiar in front of Tel'Jala Chosen. Trick or no, Nico?
Battle Grove?
Like Predator Strike. Yep, there it is, Predator Strike. +3/+3 and trample. 5/4 trampling Chosen, deals 2 damage to get around the scale. Familiar heads to the graveyard. Fujita takes a total of 5 damage this turn, so he's down to 11. He's got a 2/1 Nimstreaker, but that's not going to get the job done. That Krark Clan Grunt just came down. So Krark Clan Grunt, Tel'Jala Chosen, and Goblin Replica beating down for Herzog. He's still got all 20 life to play with. And all Fujita's been able to muster this game is a Nimstreaker.
That word is so hard to pronounce. Krark Clan.
Krark Clan Grunt.
I always pronounce it Krark Clan. but it's Krark.
Skeleton Shard go from Fujita.
Skeleton Shard does it do anything yet?
There's a mirror in his graveyard. Oh, there's a mirror in play. Sorry.
So yeah, it's really not that exciting just now. He's got a bunch of cards in play that don't really do too much. I think is that Shrieker holding back to trade with the Chosen?
Yeah, I think so. Can't really attack. He's way too far behind in this race. He plowed through the Predator Strike. Now he's going to try blocking with Shrieker. Interestingly, Battle Growth would not be enough to save him. Really? Oh. Fujita just rocks back in his chair. Icy Manipulator.
Icy is so good.
Comes
Look at
down
these games.
from Nico. And he just uses it offensively. Taps and swings.
Every game so far has been... Icy's been a huge factor.
Yeah. Second pick.
Yep.
Fujita actually has an Annul in the sideboard. He could have sideboarded it.
I mean,
there's so few artifacts in
Herzog's
deck. He actually took Relic Bane out of his deck because Nico doesn't have that many artifacts.
This is the sort of situation, though, that the blue-black deck that you just sit and shake your head. I mean, you're already behind. You have almost no creature presence on the table. Now your opponent has an Icy Manipulator they can use offensively. I mean, he's
20-11.
20-11. Not looking good for
this looks like the Silver Collector maybe going home with his title intact.
Well, there's Terror.
That stems the tide a little at least.
You take 4, you go
Still
down
take
7.
4.
27.
The Grunt and the Replica.
Cycling the spell bomb.
Down to 7. Draws a card. Island go. Not a whole lot of
Nicolai
action.
Nicolai must be
Fujita.
pretty confident right now. Fuji doesn't have many cards in hand. Nicolai, I believe, has a pretty full grip still.
Yeah.
I mean, he's way ahead in the board, way ahead in the life race. He's got 4 cards in his hand still.
Uses the Icy. Taps the Shrieker. In go is 2 men again. Silvermere just steps in front of Krark playing Grunt to chump block.
Take 2, you go down to 5.
He's getting on the...
He takes 2 down to 5. He can Skeleton Shard attack.
Yeah, he's getting the Shard plan here.
He can keep blocking for a while. He just needs a second creature to block with. And he needs it quickly. Another land. Here comes Silvermere again. And just has to say go. Vegeta's down to 5. He'll attack this turn. The mirror gets to chump again.
I mean, Herzog's sitting here on 6 land. I mean, his deck has Forger and double Trolls. I mean, his hand's got to be, I mean, either garbage or just a bunch of monsters.
Things started going well for Nicolai Herzog on the very first pick of the very first pack. Molder Slug looked up at him, and his path was clear. He took the slug. He went green. Green worked out reasonably well. There was a fight for green downstream of him, but nobody on his right was drafting it, so he kept getting solid.
He got a pretty clear. He got 3 players to his right, or to his left rather.
He was also
to his right, yeah.
He was also across the table from a red fight. A.O. Paquette and Mike Turian were both battling over the red cards right next to each other, and Nico didn't really have much competition for red on his side. He had, I guess he did have Anton Janssen on his left drafting red, but he was clean on the right for red. And he got really benefited from a decision that Mike Turian made. Mike Turian twice was faced with a decision between Electrostatic Bolt and Arrest, and he chose to take the Arrest because he didn't want the Arrest to get to his opponent. So he took a slightly inferior card just to suck white cards out of Olivier Ruel's deck. Benefit was free red cards that went into Nico Herzog's deck. Kind of random, but yeah, things just broke the right way for the Norwegian. And he knew exactly what to do. Opportunities too. He knew exactly what to do. He drafted his stack. He made all the right decisions. Put himself in this position. Caught a couple breaks, and looks like he's about to win the Pro Tour.
Take 2, you go down to 3.
Fujita drops to 3, blocks with the Silver Mirror again, returns it with the Skeleton Shard again.
Here comes the mirror.
And anything else? Yes, seems to have drawn something relevant.
Or not.
Another Silver Mirror. Does a little something, right?
It does. It's fairly comparable to healing Sav in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, he can double block, but then he loses what? He can trade 2 mirrors and the Skeleton Shard for the Goblin Replica?
Yeah, that can't be good.
What else is he supposed to do? Chump? Oh, he dies. He cast to block the Grunt. He's actually obligated to block the Grunt. It's
yeah.
Yeah, looks like Chump. Herzog hasn't gone for the icing in the attack phase the way he has in the last 2 turns.
Deconstruct is what it looks like.
Deconstruct your Silver Mirror. Alright. Icy your Nimshrieker. Does that Deconstruct even do anything?
I mean, he can...
Burns 2, 18, 3.
And then he burns for 2. I'm not sure that Deconstruct helped much, since the Silver Mirror was obligated to block Crark-Lane Grunt anyway. He could just use the Crark-Lane Grunt's ability. Oh, there it is. There's Battle Growth for the win.
There it is.
Nico Herzog had it the whole time. 3-0 sweep. Osamu Fujita smiles. He's happy.
Another silver medal.
But it's always bittersweet to finish 2nd place. Look at that look on his face.
That was pretty savage.
Yeah, Herzog said it best.
It was a beating.
That was pretty savage. Nicolai Herzog, 3 games to 0, Pro Tour champion.
Like the other 25,000.
We hope you've enjoyed this web broadcast. We're going to talk to you for a few more minutes, and we'll have until the award ceremony is ready to go. Start handing out checks and trophies. Like I mentioned earlier, this web broadcast is now going to be a permanent part of Pro Tour coverage. Next, we'll be bringing you live streaming video from Kobe in February, and then every Pro Tour for the rest of the year we'll be doing the live web broadcast. So make a habit of it. If there's a Pro Tour, there's going to be a broadcast on Sunday. I guess it's, 7 in the morning back home in Seattle. I guess it's 10 a.m. on the East Coast. People maybe just waking up. Maybe you're just getting tuned in. We will have archives posted, so you can go back and catch up on any of the coverage you missed. And one thing we've started experimenting with, I haven't seen it yet, but it sounds like they're doing highlight packages of the games. That should be pretty cool. There you go. Nicolai Herzog, Pro Tour champion. And the big check. Gotta love the big check. $30,000. Nicolai
has won $30,000 for his efforts this weekend.
Smiling for the friends back home.
That's a very happy man.
I can't blame him.
Some bugs for the camera.
To go. Big round of applause again for Nicolai.
Yeah, big round of applause. Congratulations, Nicolai.
A job well done.
Also, let me congratulate Pro Tour Amsterdam finalist Osamu Fujita from Japan.
Osamu Fujita, 2nd place.
Once again.
The Silver Collector gets a 7th silver medal, but this one comes with $20,000 attached to it.
This one's got a nice couple strings attached to it. Not just a plaque, not just a trophy, a whole big chunk of change.
24 pro points, puts him in good position for the Player of the Year race, puts him in good position for the end of the year payout. Really, these guys have won even more money than the $20,000.
Absolutely. Frankly, I just like a big check. I mean, even if you don't even really get the money, just be neat to have on your wall.
Third and fourth, Olivier Ruel from France, Anton Janssen. Great top 8. A lot of really talented Magic players showed up today and played Magic.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we had comebacks from Anton Janssen and Camille Cornelissen, who we haven't heard from in a while. Nicolai Herzog solidifying himself as one of the top drafters in the world. Olivier Ruel himself, having another comeback tournament. And then Mike Turian in one of his Swan Song tournaments, proving that he can make an individual limited top 8, which is one of his goals before he was forced into retirement by his marriage to Rachel Roan.
Well, I'm Randy Buehler. I've been here with Brian Kibler, and we've had a lot of fun talking to you. We will talk to you again from Kobe in February.
See you then.